Hello, this is Mrs. Kelly. This is our actually first lesson in algebra. Algebra is a lot of fun, so let's go ahead and have fun. You guys did an awesome job last year, and this review packet should have been pretty easy for you. Okay, what I would like you to do right now is on page 1 of your notebook, the very first page, I would like you to write warm up and then solve these two problems. I'll give you a couple minutes to go ahead and get them done. Then we'll go over them. Okay, if you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video to finish them up. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over them. This is just basically warming up. If you look at the first one, we have like terms. We have 3n and we have minus 5n. Well, 3n minus 5n, leave change opposite, and we're going to get negative 2n minus 2 equals 0. Well, I want to solve for 0, or for n. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Once I add 2 to both sides, I'm going to get negative 2n is equal to 2. Divide by negative 2, I get n is equal to negative 1. Now, like I said last year, if you want to check it, you can go ahead and just do a simple check. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Minus 2 would be negative 5. And then I'm going to have minus negative 5, which is plus a positive 5. So that equals 0. Okay, the next one. What I need to do first is distribute. So I'm going to distribute. So I get negative 8x plus 40 equals negative 36x plus 12. Now I want to move the variables to one side. And since this is a smaller variable, I'm going to move this one to both sides. So I'm going to add 36x to both sides. So I'm going to get 28x, and it's going to be positive, plus 40 equals 12. Subtract 40 from both sides. I'm going to get 28x equals negative 28. Divide both sides by 28. I'm also going to get x is equal to negative 1. And like I said, you can go back and check it. To check it, you would take this negative 8 times negative 1 would be 8 plus 40, which would be 48. On the other side, I'm going to have negative 6 times negative 6 minus 2. That's going to be negative 6 times negative 8, which is 48, equals 48. And you can actually do that in your head, and I'm not going to require you to do it, just to make sure you get it right. Okay, the next one. Now, this is your summer packet. So we're going to go over the summer packet, making sure you understand everything. So we have negative 2 plus 5. Signs are opposite, so I'm actually going to subtract. I'm going to get 3. The next one, it's subtraction. Leave, change, opposite. So I have 1 plus 1, which is 2. Number 3. Once again, it's a subtraction. So I'm going to leave, change, opposite. So I have negative 3 plus negative 5, which is going to be negative 8, since the signs are the same. The next one, subtraction, leave, change, opposite. I'm going to add those together. So it's going to be 41 plus 48. And if you need to come over here and do that, you can. And it's 89. Remember, this is arithmetic. You don't need to show me that. Okay, the next thing. These are fractions. And remember, fractions are our friends, our very favorite friends. So the first one is multiplication. So I have to, first of all, I have a positive sign and negative, so I know the answer is going to be negative. Change the first one to an improper fraction. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 1 is 21 over 4. And I'm going to drop that negative sign since I know it's going to be negative. Cross cancel. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 4 once. Multiply across. I get 21 over 5. Change it, and that's going to be negative. I got to make sure I put the negative on. And that's going to be negative 4 and 1/5. Ooh, nice circle there. Okay, the next one. I have a negative and a negative. Two negatives when you multiply will make a positive, so I know my answer is going to be positive. So 3 times 6 is 18 plus 5 is going to be 23 over 6 times 6 over 7. These 6's will both become 1. So I get 23 over 7. How many times does 7 go into 23? 3 times with 2 left over. Okay, number 7. So once again, it's a negative and a positive, so the answer is going to end up to be negative. 5 times 1 plus 3 is going to be 8 over 5 times 1/2. There's some cross canceling. 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 goes into 2 1 times. Now, if you did not cross cancel, you're just going to get 8 over 40, and then you have to reduce it. So I'm going to get 4 over 5. I know it's going to be negative, so there's my answer. This I would mark wrong, and I would say reduce. Make sure you do that. Make sure we'll go down all the way. Okay, the next one. It's division. A negative and negative, so I know my answer is going to be positive. Go ahead and change it into improper fractions. 8 times 1 plus 5 is going to be 13 over 8, divided by 4 over 3, multiplied by the reciprocal. Is there any cross canceling? Anything going to 13 and 4? No. 8 and 3? No. So I multiply across. I get 39 over 32. Okay? So I have 39 over 32. How many times does 32 go into 39? Goes in once. I have 7 left over. And I know my answer is going to be positive. Okay, number 9. You have 36 divided by 12, negative 12. Well, you know the answer is going to be negative, and it's going to be 3. These are ones you should know. And then 16 divided by 8. 16 divided by 8 is going to be 2. Okay, moving on to the next page. Okay, remember commutative property. What it is it's change order. And you can remember that. Oh, Jesus. It's not liking me today. Okay, so it's a CO. Remember, CO means change order. So all it does is A and B, and then B is A, and it goes for multiplication and division. Well, addition and multiplication. Doesn't work for subtraction or addition. Or, geez, subtraction or division. Okay, that does not work. Only addition and multiplication. Okay, the next one is the associative property. SO. SO means same order. So if I go A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C, they're in the same order. All it does is regroups them. Okay, the next one is the identity property. The identity property says, what can I give to a number and not change it? Well, if I add it, I'm going to put 0 in there. So that's the additive identity. Now, for multiplication, I'm going to multiply it by 1. And that 1 is the multiplicative identity. Okay, inverse. What the inverse is basically the opposite. Remember how we talked about the opposite? So the opposite of A is negative A, right? So if I had, let's get a pen here. If I had like 3 plus 0, I'm still going to get 3. No matter which way you do it, I'm still going to get 3. Okay? The inverse, that's what I was talking about. Okay, so if I have 5, I can add negative 5 and get 0. If I add negative 3, I have to add 3 to get 0. Multiplication the same way. If I have 5, I'm going to multiply it by the reciprocal. And that's going to give me 1. And it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. Okay, 0. There's not one for addition. You probably think the identity is 0, but it's not. So 0 means anything multiplied by 0 will give me 0, no matter what the number is. Distributive, you guys always like this one. You can frost the cupcake, right? Make sure you distribute it to both variables inside. Okay, substitution means if A and B equals B, then A may be substituted for B. Okay? Basically, that means I can do A equals B, so A is equal to A, and B is equal to B. Okay, so let's go through the properties. The first one, see if it's the same order, 6, 7, 4, 6, 7, 4. It is, so I know it's going to, and it regroups, so it's going to be the associative property of addition. Okay, the next one, 10 times 0 equals 0. Well, I know that's the 0 property of multiplication. Okay, the next one, if 12 plus 4 equals 14, then 14 equals 12 plus 2. That is substitution, because you're just basically substituting the 12 plus 2 into 14, and the 14 is replaced by 12 plus 2. Okay, the next one. 1 times 58 equals 58. Well, I know that's the identity property of multiplication. The next one. Well, I distributed the 4 in, so I know that's the distributive property. This one, 4 thirds times 3 fourths times 4 thirds. Those are both cancel out, become 1. So that is the inverse of multiplication. Okay, the next one. Well, what happened? 25 minus 5 equals 20. So that's the substitution property. 26 plus 0 is 26. That's the identity property of addition. Now this one you gotta be careful. I have 10 plus x plus y equals y plus 10 plus x. That is not, they're not in the same order, so it cannot be associative. Well, what happened? They took this quantity and switched their order. Okay? So that's going to be the commutative property of addition. The next one, I have 6 plus x plus y, 6 plus x plus y. They are in the same order and it regroups, so that's the associative property of addition. This one here, it took 4 times 5 and 4 times a. That's the distributive property. And the last one, those two are opposites, so it's going to be the inverse property of addition. Okay, if you have any questions on these properties, please make sure to either ask me by email, or if I decide to have a Zoom, we'll do it on a Zoom. Okay, let's go through here. This one, the first one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and follow the order of operations. So we have to do parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, whichever comes first, addition and subtraction, whatever comes first. Okay, if I look at the first one, division comes first. So I'm going to have 4 minus 16 divided by 4 is 4 times 6 times 3. Next thing I'm going to do is do the multiplication. So 4 minus 24 times 3. Now I still have to do the multiplication. So I have 4 minus 72, and that one is going to be negative 68. Okay, the next one. Let's do this one. Okay, I have to do the exponents first. So I have 5 minus 10 times 10 divided by 25 plus 2. Do the multiplication. So I have 5 minus 100 divided by 25 plus 2. Do this. So 5 minus 4 plus 2. I do this first. So I get 1 plus 2, which I know is 3. Next one. Okay, these two signs are absolute values, which means absolute value means distance from 0. And we treat them like parentheses. So the first one, I'm going to do the exponents first. So I have 36 minus 4 times 4 is 16 times 4. Where are my notes? 24, 2, 6. So it is 28. Oh, it's 64. Okay. Found my notes. Always good to have the notes. Okay, so then I go ahead and subtract this. I get negative 28. So it's the absolute value of negative 28. Absolute value, distance away from 0 is 28, plus, I'm going to go ahead and multiply that, 20. Put those together, I get 48. Okay, the next one. Negative 2 to the third power. I'm going to get negative 2 to the third power is going to be negative 8 minus 1. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these together because I treat these like parentheses. So it's going to be 2. So I have negative 9 over 2, which is going to be negative 4 and 1/2. Okay, moving right along. We're going to do a couple of equations. Let's see how long I have right now. Let's see how long this video is. I don't want to make it too long. Okay, a couple more minutes. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to add 15 to both sides. I'm going to get 6x is equal to 48. Divide both sides by 6. You guys should be so good at these, because we did so many last year. Okay, the next one. Add 15. I get x over 4 is equal to 25. Multiply both sides by 4. X is equal to 100. Okay, next one. This one, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 over 1, or by just 2. That will cancel this out to release the top. So I have x minus 12 equals negative 10. Add 12 to both sides. X is equal to 2. Next one. Add or subtract 4 from both sides. So 0.2x is equal to 5.6. Divide both sides by 0.2. X is equal to 28. Okay, next one. Okay, this one, we have variables on both sides. So what I want to do is I want to subtract 5. This is like the warm-up we did. Okay, so I have 4 plus 5x equals -1. Now, why did I subtract 5? Because that was the smaller of the two numbers, coefficients. Subtract 4 from both sides. Can you do it the other way? Yes, you can. But this is the way I taught you. This is the way I like you to do it. Do you have to do it this way? No. So x is equal to -1. Okay, the next one. I'm going to distribute first. So I get 4x plus 4 minus 2 equals 3x. Put these two together. 4x plus 2 equals 3x. In this case, 3 is a smaller coefficient, but I don't have any constants on that side, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. All it matters is I'm going to get a negative number. -1x divided by -1. I get -2 is equal to x. Flip it around, I get x is equal to -2. Okay, next one. Okay, this one, I have a variable on this side, I have variable and constant on this side, so I'm going to subtract 3x. I'm going to get 3x equals -18 divided by 3 divided by 3. I get x is equal to -6. And the last one. This one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the 7x. And I know last year I taught you a shortcut, but I want you to go ahead and write it all the way out. Subtract 10. I get x is equal to -14. So there we go. That's for today. And tomorrow you can come back and we'll do the rest of the packet. Have a great evening.